Alrighty, folks, that is all the NBA we had to go over for today. So now let's shift gears to the NFL. And before we get into our official picks here, I do want to kind of touch once again on the coaching changes and the coaching hires that have been going on and potentially going on as well. So let's start here with some coaching news and top coaches here in the NFL, and seeing if these teams are making the right decision heading into the 2022-2023 season. So let's start here with the Broncos. We are going to hear from their general manager on why they hired Nathaniel Hackett. Now, the Broncos already have our kind of seal of approval, our 2 thumbs up on the hire. Offensive coordinator Nathaniel Hackett from the Green Bay Packers. Fantastic. We know this Packers offense has been looking great, and it's not just great because of Aaron Rodgers, folks. This running game has been the real deal. Running back by committee, the real deal. Aaron Jones, no good to go. That's fine. We got A.J. Dillon. This man has been fantastic over the last couple of years, just kind of being kind of the number 2 running back, and then whenever he needed to be elevated to the number 1, he was still getting great production. So that speaks to Nathaniel Hackett. He wasn't good because he was just passing the ball because he has one of the greatest quarterbacks of all time. No. This offense was fantastic. Yes, with Aaron Rodgers, but also with the running game and everything else. I actually want to get these A.J. Dillon stats up here very quickly here. See what he's been doing just by the numbers here. Get a nice full look at these numbers by A.J. Dillon. So over the last 2 years, folks, getting it done. Year number 1, never started a game there, but had 242 yards, 2 touchdowns, and then he elevated that to 803 yards this season alone while getting 313 yards receiving. So their number 2 running back, over 1,000 yards production through the run and the receiving game with Aaron Jones. Let's get his official numbers up. Did Aaron Jones get over 1,000 yards? I believe he had. So that's the running game, folks. The running game alone getting all this great production. Aaron Jones numbers this season: 799 yards rushing and 391 yards receiving for a grand total of 1,190 yards. Both of these running backs had over 1,000 yards worth of production. That speaks big time to Nathaniel Hackett. Fantastic, great hire. But let's go and hear why did the general manager hire him? What is he saying about him? And let's see why we should be buying way more into Nathaniel Hackett and this Broncos team moving forward. So we'll get in the article here, but just a quick attention-grabbing tweet. Broncos general manager on hiring of Nathaniel Hackett says, quote, "In addition to having a brilliant offensive mind," and yes, absolutely, he got it done in the running game. That's fantastic. "Nathaniel is an outstanding teacher and communicator with a strong vision for all 3 phases of our team." Oh my goodness, that is checking all the boxes we love. What do we say as a head coach? They must be the true leader. They must be a leader. And he says Nathaniel is an outstanding teacher and communicator. Communication is so key. Brian Flores was not a communicator, folks. You saw him at the press conference. Always kind of, a little bit of head down, not really kind of going above and beyond, kind of soft-voiced. Same thing with Adam Gase, and I know these 2 guys are just kind of popping up in my mind because when I watch them at the press conferences, I don't really see a great communicator, general manager George Patton is saying right here. Adam Gase at the press conference, every single time, hat over his eyes, always looking down and just kind of, the offense, it wasn't that good today, but it wasn't on me. It was really all just on the players not executing. I put these players in the position to get it done, and they just didn't get it done, but, that has nothing to do with me. I set them up for success here. Never looking at the media, never looking at anybody. So communication is such a great factor and a great attribute that is truly needed to be a successful head coach. So far we are loving Nathaniel Hackett here. How much more can we buy into this man? Let's quickly go into this article and read all these quotes. And there's a couple of them, folks, but that's fine. I want to know all I know. I want to know all I need to know about Nathaniel Hackett because I'm this close. I am this close, folks, of already naming the Broncos the next Super Bowl champion. I don't give a damn, okay? Oh, man. Ooh, I'm loving it already, but here we go. Let's get in this article and start reading some quotes here. So here we go. Hackett's hire is the first of 9 head coach openings to be filled. 9? Is there 9? I thought there was 7. What are these other? What were the other 2? Sean Payton, I guess that would have been 8. What was the other one? Ravens. What? Ravens don't need one. Panthers. Are they just talking about hiring? Okay. Let's get off of that. We don't need to sidetrack on that. But here we go. Quote here by Broncos general manager George Patton. Here we go. Says, quote, Nathaniel Hackett is a dynamic leader and coach whose intelligence, innovation, and charisma impressed us from the very start of this process. Intelligence, innovation, why you want a head coach that is offensive minded. This game is always evolving, always changing, especially over the last couple of seasons, I would say 5-7 years here, where we've got this huge offensive explosion in the NFL. All the rules are benefiting the offense, the receivers. We're starting to get so much great consistent speed. Look at Tyreek Hill. Look at Cooper Kupp. Always able to get open here. Innovation offensively. What do you have if you have innovation on defense? Oh, Brian Flores called a perfect defensive play right there. He resulted in a turnover. And then the offense goes 3 and out. And they have to punt. Are they going to be able to do that back again defensively? No, because the offense just saw. They're like, oh, that's what they did. They dropped the corner, rushed the safety, and had the linebacker fill that spot. Oh, that's what they were doing. All right, yeah, that was great innovation. Thanks, but it's not going to work again. So you need it on the offensive side, folks. I'm truly not buying into these defensive-minded coaches at the head coaching position, folks. So this man's intelligent, innovative, and charisma. Everything you need at the head coaching position. I am loving it. Back to the quote here. Quote, in addition to having a brilliant offensive mind, Nathaniel is an outstanding teacher and communicator with a strong vision for all 3 phases for our team. Yes. Quote, getting to know Nathaniel over the last couple of weeks, he will bring positive energy and enthusiasm to the entire Denver Broncos organization as our head coach, creating a winning and competitive environment for the players, coaches, and staff. In doing it through personal connections and efficiency is a big part of his plan for the Broncos. From developing young players, Jerry Jeudy, yes sir, innovative with Jerry Jeudy. Was Vic Fangio doing anything innovative with Jerry Jeudy? I think Jerry Judy's overall production went way down this season. I don't even know if Jerry Jeudy had 1,000 yards receiving this year, which is absolutely, that's criminal that you did not get this man 1,000 yards. But let's double check these numbers quickly here. Jerry Jeudy, only 467 yards, and I know he only played 10 games, a little bit of injured there in the middle part of the season, but his production went way, way, way down, folks. Yards per reception was 16.5 last year, rookie year, and it went down to 12.3. There's no reason for that. Yes, your overall yards could go down because you missed 6 games, 7 games, but I mean your yards per reception should have been the same. That just breaks it down to averages right there. So man, oh man, what in his catch percentage did go up, so we'll give him credit for that. But that's it. Production went all the way down. So that's something that definitely needs to be cleaned up and fixed. Vic Fangio was not getting it done. Defensive-minded guy, not getting it done. How many times have we seen this, folks? Man, oh man, loving it. All right, back to this one, though. Back to the quote. From developing young players to working with all-time greats as a key part of winning teams, Nathaniel has had tremendous success in this league. He's a student of the game and knows how to put players in positions to win. I could not be more excited to partner with Nathaniel and welcome him with his family, his wife, Megan, and children, Harrison, London, Breyer, Everly. Damn, okay, 4 kids, man, doesn't know how to pull out. Okay, to the Denver Broncos. But man, oh man, I am loving everything that we've been hearing about Nathaniel Hackett. The perfect hire here for Denver. And let's quickly get up their depth chart here. We know they've got Melvin Gordon. We're not the biggest supporters of Melvin Gordon, but if you just made Aaron Jones and A.J. Dillon both work together, I'm sure he could get great production out of Melvin Gordon here. But who is their number 2 running back? I think it's somebody decent. What do we got here? Let's double check. Javonte Williams. Oh my God. Rookie Javonte Williams, who had a really good season. 903 yards, folks. Yes, and he's got some nice speed under him. So Javonte Williams, face of the future here for the Denver Broncos. I would probably expect maybe Melvin Gordon to kind of be maybe traded for another decent running back, a little bit of a younger running back that Nathaniel Hackett can truly work with. So this team is truly primed, folks. Courtland Sutton, Jerry Jeudy, Tim Patrick, Noah Fant at the tight end position. They've got great receivers. They've got a great running back in Javonte Williams. The quarterback is truly going to be what defines Nathaniel Hackett. We'll see what he does. Does he think he can make Teddy Bridgewater work? Does he think he can make Drew Lock work? But overall, these great pieces here offensively are truly going to help Nathaniel Hackett turn this Broncos team around pretty quickly. Expect this team to really be competing in the AFC West. You know, they've got the Chiefs and the Raiders. It's tough, but I think Nathaniel Hackett can truly turn it around quickly here. Big time belief from the general manager. Fantastic. So that's who we've got for the Broncos here. Nathaniel Hackett, this is a home run hire, folks. If you're a Broncos fan, you should be jumping up and down here. The future is bright in Denver, folks. Yes, sir. Nathaniel Hackett is here. Love it. Love it. And now let's hear from the other side. What we don't love at first, but let's see, maybe they can buy us. I mean, once again, George Patton right here, all these quotes that we read, I mean, now we're buying 100%. So first, we don't love the Bears hiring defensive coordinator. What's his name? Matt Alvarez. We don't love that, but let's hear from the general manager. Let's hear from the coach. Let's see what their plan is. Let's see if we can buy into them a little bit here and see if they have a plan. And once again, I think they're doing Justin Fields a big disservice from going to Matt Naggy, who already ruined him, to a defensive coordinator who's not going to be innovative in helping out Justin Fields from that perspective. So let's first hear from general manager and why he hired Matt Alvarez, and then we'll hear from Matt Alvarez about what he's saying about this Bears team and what he kind of plans to do. So here we go. New Bears general manager Ryan Poles on new Bears head coach Matt Alvarez says, quote, his experience, passion, character, and attention to detail made him the right man for both the job and the culture we intend to establish here at Halas Hall. So alrighty, establishing the culture. I'm so over that. Let's establish the culture. Okay, can we establish winning as well, just instead of just getting the culture down? You know how many times, general managers bring in a coach and be like, oh, they're here to establish culture, but it's still losing. It's a losing culture that you're establishing. It's going to be a good, probably defensive culture, but the Dolphins just had a great defensive culture for the last 2 seasons, and what happened? Not making the playoffs, not pulling out, not getting it done in the big games, letting the Bills absolutely destroy the Dolphins offense both times. That really resulted in the Dolphins not being able to make the playoffs. So I still don't love it, folks. And I don't love this opening quote that we wrote that he's just trying to establish a culture here. Did Broncos general manager George Patton say anything about establishing a culture here in Denver? There's no culture there in Denver, folks. It's a free-for-all. They've established nothing over the last 2 seasons. We still don't have a quarterback. The wide receivers never got better. There's still no culture there in Denver, but did George Patton only hire Nathaniel Hackett because he was going to change the culture alone? No, the innovation, the offensive brilliance of Nathaniel Hackett. Screw the culture. The culture's going to come with winning. When we all win, that's when the culture is going to be established, because it's a winning culture at that point. So, oh man, some teams, folks, I just don't think they get it. But here we go. Let's read some more here on why they really hired this man. Here we go. First quote. Let's read the lead up here. The Chicago Bears are working to hire Matt Alberfluss as their next head coach. The NFL Network insider Ian Rappaport reported Thursday. Per source, a team informed him of the decision. The team later announced the hiring. Says, quote, I couldn't be more excited to have Matt become the next head coach of the Chicago Bears. This is from general manager Ryan Poles. Quote, his experience, passion, character, and attention to detail made him the right man for both the job and the culture we intend to establish here at Halas Hall. Throughout the search, Matt impressed me when detailing his vision and plan for our team. We look forward to getting to work and assembling a top-notch staff and roster that will help us consistently compete for championships. I would like to thank Ryan and McCaskey and the McCaskey family for this once-in-a-lifetime opportunity to leave the Bears. This is Elberfluss now, to leave the Chicago Bears, one of the most storied franchises in all of sports and one of the greatest cities in the world. I am truly humbled and honored to be named your head coach, and together we will do everything in our power to bring a Super Bowl championship back to Chicago. That's what they're saying? What is there to celebrate? What they're saying here? This is just general boilerplate stuff right here. That's not what George Patton was saying. We were gushing over every single word that was coming out of that man's mouth. Hey, he impressed me because of his direction that he wants to put the team in. Well, what's the direction with Justin Fields? Is he just going to ignore him? And you'll be like, oh, yeah, we'll just let the offense do whatever it does because the defense is going to bring it. The defense is going to be great. We've seen this story too many times, folks. The defense. Yeah, but that doesn't win at the end of the day, folks. You need a competent offense. And heading into the season with Andy Dalton, Nick Foles, and Justin Fields, what's the plan there? So I would love to know the plan. Obviously, they're not going to tell us the plan. The skull is going to stay in-house. Obviously, you're not going to give any of that information to these other teams in the NFL, your rivals, all that. But all right, we're going to hold both of these guys to it. They said they've got a plan. The last time we heard they have a plan, that was Matt Naggy. How did that plan work out, right? That was probably one of the worst plans I've ever seen. So I'm still not loving it, folks. I really cannot endorse this. This gets no thumbs up. This gets no seal of approval from us over here. Absolutely not. And is this the only quote here we get by Matt Elberfluss? Is this all we have to read? Is that he's going to change the culture and bring a title back to Chicago? Same quote? Oh my goodness. Alrighty, so that's Matt Elberfluss, folks. He's going to bring a title back to Chicago. What every single head coach promises and none deliver. All right, if y'all want to keep making the same mistakes over and over again, I would actually love to see what Matt Naggy said, because I'm almost positive he said he's going to bring a title here to Chicago. Let me see. I'm going to quickly try to Google this. We'll go over this quickly. If I can't find it quickly, folks, we won't spend too much time. Matt Naggy opening press conference. Can we get this? I just want to read what Matt Naggy said when they first brought him on. That's what I want to know. Matt Naggy, opening press conference, nothing really coming up here, because I guaranteed he probably said word for word exactly what Matt Elberfluss just said right here. Hey, I'm grateful for the opportunity. I've got a plan, and I'm going to bring a title back to this historic city of Chicago that's had so much great success way early on in the NFL. Matt Naggy hired, let me go to this. Matt Naggy hired as Bears head coach. Let's quickly see if we bring up any articles from 2014. Yes, I'm not doing Matt Elberfluss. You don't have to correct me. Here we go. Matt Naggy hired as Bears head coach to replace John Fox. So we get any quote here by Matthew Nagus. Matthew Nagus, where are your quotes? What are you saying here? Doesn't seem like I'm going to be able to bring it up quickly, folks. How truly unfortunate. I'll try to find that for tomorrow's show. We'll revisit it. We get anything else here? Anything else? They hired this man exactly January 8th, 2018. So they did it kind of a little bit earlier. So they hired Matt Naggy real kind of early on when their season ended. At least I guess if we give any credit to the Bears here, they took a little bit more time to hire Matt Elberfluss. They kind of hired him about 20 extra days later. So I guess they put a little bit more time, effort into truly researching their candidates here. So I guess that's the only green flag we could truly give on the Bears there, but truly not buying into this man at all, folks. But I can't wait to see this Broncos team next season. Absolutely. Alrighty, what other head coaching news do we have here? It seems like the Giants are going to probably be the next team to hire a coach here, and we've been hearing that Brian Daboll was pretty much locked up as the head coach here, and we really loved that because that was kind of the offensive coordinator, fantastic, getting better with Josh Allen every single year here. We heard from one of the co-owners of the Giants earlier last week saying, hey, we've done everything to screw up Daniel Jones. So you bringing in Brian Daboll is truly you putting where your money is, putting your money where your mouth is. Hey, we've got Leslie Frazier, defense coordinator. We got Brian Daboll, offense coordinator. We've already ruined Daniel Jones, but we're going to hire the offense coordinator. We're finally going to get it going because you had him with a special teams guy. You had... who was their offensive coordinator? Man, oh man, why do I always blank on this dude's name? He's just so milquetoast, he's never remembered, folks. Oh man, it drives me crazy when Jason Garrett. They had Jason Garrett as their offensive coordinator. Once again, he is a little bit of an offensive guy, but never kind of fantastic, never, always kind of underperformed with the Cowboys and all that. So you never really gave this man a great offensive mind. And now we're kind of hearing that they're kind of leaning towards a little bit more towards Leslie Frazier, because we get these tweets right here. The finalists for the New York Giants head coaching job are Brian Daboll and Leslie Frazier. Then we get this, the New York Giants, who were in the driver's seat with Brian Daboll, could be shifting focus now to Leslie Frazier, because Brian Daboll is kind of getting reported saying that he prefers the cap situation of the Miami Dolphins in working with Tua. So it seems like the Giants had Brian Daboll, and it seems like it's shifting now to Leslie Frazier, and it's just mind-boggling. Why switch? You had the right guy, Brian Daboll, and you even had the new general manager saying we'll build an offense to accentuate what Daniel does best. So that would be getting Brian Daboll, offensive-minded coach at the head coaching position, to help out Daniel Jones. All this talk right here of the Giants saying, hey, we're going to make Daniel Jones good. We've done everything to ruin him, so we kind of owe it to him to, make this man good again. But then you're going to go with Leslie Frazier, a defensive guy, after you just went from a special teams guy? I just don't get what the Giants are doing here, folks. It seems like nonsense. They better get Brian Daboll, lock him down when you can, but it seems like that's not going to be happening. So Daniel Jones, I feel so sorry for the kid. Seems like he could be fantastic. A little bit of the same build as Josh Allen. I think Daniel Jones is 6'4". Let's get this up. I think he's like 6'4", 220. Where Josh Allen's like 6'5", 230. Daniel Jones, 6'5", 221. And let's get Josh Allen right up comparison. He's definitely 6'5". We know this. And I think Josh Allen's about like 10, 15 pounds beefier. Josh Allen, 6'5", 237. So yeah, he's got about 16 pounds on Daniel Jones, but kind of same build, can potentially be, the same quarterback. We know Daniel Jones can run the ball. This would be a perfect fit for Brian Daboll. You go from Josh Allen to kind of the same overall physically wise quarterback. Obviously, Josh Allen has proven he can get it done. We have not seen that really at all by Daniel Jones. But once again, you got special teams guys, your head coach, you got Jason Garrett, milquetoast, and then Freddie Kitchens as, the one that kind of finished out the rest of the season here. So it's just like, I don't understand what this Giants team is doing. They're making a huge mistake if they're now targeting Leslie Frazier instead of Brian Daboll. They should have been full steam ahead on Brian Daboll since day one. That's the best fit here for this Giants team. And now the last thing that we've heard, that they're shifting focus to Leslie Frazier, who blew the game, who blew a playoff game. That's who you want to rely on here. So everybody's just talking nonsense here, just talking to kind of silence the media. The co-owner saying, hey, we want to kind of do what's right for Daniel Jones. The new general manager who they just hired said, yeah, we're going to build an offense around this man. Well, the offense is already kind of built around this man. The line is decently there. You've got so many pieces offensively, weapons-wise. Saquon Barkley. So the offense is already put. Can we get a great offensive coordinator and a great offensive-minded head coach to support this man? He's got no support. You can put whatever weapons you want around any good quarterback, but it's all for naught if you don't have the support, the trust, the innovation, the believability, the backability from your head coach. Giants, please, for the love of goodness, please do not hire Leslie Frazier and lock up Brian Daboll whenever you can. What the hell is going on here, folks? Man, oh man, this Giants team, folks, they'll always be classic Giants being trash, folks. So we'll see, but it's seeming like they're now focusing Leslie Frazier. We'll see how that goes for them. All right, what else do we get here? We get the Dolphins. All right, another team that's looking for a head coach. And what have we been saying? Offensive minded here. And that seems like the direction the Dolphins are planning to do. We get this tweet right here. This is from Ian Rappaport, folks. The Dolphins plan to have second interviews early next week, sources said, as they continue their search for a head coach. Despite the flurry of activity today, no rush in Miami. And then Ian Rappaport follows up that tweet saying, among the names expected to receive a second interview from the Dolphins, Cowboys offensive coordinator Kellen Moore, 49ers offensive coordinator Mike McDaniel, and Bills offensive coordinator Brian Daboll. Offense. So the Dolphins are truly moving in the right direction. I don't love Kellen Moore. I don't want to knock him, but this Cowboys offense has not been as good as it really should be, folks. That Cowboys offense is so freaking stacked. They got running back by committee. You got kind of the powerhouse in Ezekiel Elliott. You got Tony Pollard. You got one of the top 5 best wide receivers in the league of Amari Cooper. You've got CeeDee Lamb, and once again, CeeDee Lamb and Dak Prescott, they never look fantastic with each other. So why is that relationship never truly blossoming and being absolutely fantastic? They have started to use Dalton Schultz a lot more at the back end of the season, so that's potentially another green flag for Kellen Moore. But I think this Cowboys offense has just been underperforming of really what they truly should have been doing the entire year. And then the big flounder in the playoff game, all of that. So I don't love Kellen Moore, but we'll see what happens there. Mike McDaniel, offensive coordinator for the 49ers. I really have started to, like this guy. I'm seeing him on social media all the time. Seems like a great guy overall, loosey-goosey, a player's coach and all that, and that's exactly what we love. Brilliant offensive mind, a true innovator at the position. So I truly do endorse Mike McDaniel. That'd be a fantastic hire. And then, Brian Daboll. We didn't really love him. His name was truly brought up in the beginning of the season here. Even last season, everyone was kind of clamoring over Brian Daboll, being like, he's going to be the next big guy. Like, he's going to be fantastic. I didn't really see it. But then we saw this Bills offense in the playoffs, and it was being aggressive, and that was, one of the knocks that we had on Sean McDermott and Brian Daboll being super conservative in the playoffs and all that, and not letting Josh Allen do it all, even though we know we could do it all. So the trust that Brian Daboll has had in Josh Allen, how their offense has truly just been getting better and better and better and better every year, every game throughout the season and all that. I would kind of endorse Brian Daboll now, so I have kind of come around on Brian Daboll. So either Mike McDaniel, Brian Daboll, still got Doug Peterson waiting in the wings. It's seeming like he's not going to get the leftovers, but he's, definitely doing his due diligence, and, he's not going to rush into anything, Doug Peterson. So we'll see what happens with Doug Peterson. Once again, it seems like his name's not being thrown around any, and it definitely should. But Mike McDaniel, Brian Daboll, I think are great options for a head coaching spot. Kellen Moore, I think I want to see a little bit more and maybe just be an offensive coordinator or something. I don't know if he's going to be a great coach, but we'll see what happens here. He's getting interviewed. We just heard from Jerry Jones, I think today. I don't have the tweet up, but I did see the tweet about Jerry Jones kind of saying, I truly want Kellen Moore back, like 100%. Like he's kind of our guy over here. So Jerry Jones believes in him, but does that give us any faith? Jerry Jones, hasn't done anything great recently. He hired Mike McCarthy as their head coach. It's like his decision making is not top notch. It's not. We should be following and kind of waiting on every single breath from Jerry Jones and seeing what he has to say, right? So I'm loving Mike McDaniel, offensive coordinator for the 49ers. Brian Daboll, offensive coordinator for the Bills. I'm all about both those guys, and we'll see what the Dolphins decide to do, but it seems like they're going offensive, and hey, building behind Tua, showing the confidence in Tua. And when Tua has all the confidence behind him, I think he's going to surprise a lot of people, honestly. So once again, the head coach quarterback connection needs to be there, folks, truly. And yeah, let's talk about that for a second. The head coach quarterback relationship, because we just kind of get a little bit of a 180 a little bit right here. Where's this tweet at? Kyle Shanahan, and it's now kind of truly endorsing Jimmy Garoppolo. And, once again, going back into the early part of the season, off-season, Kyle Shanahan saying, of course, Trey Lance is going to play. He's going to be the guy at some point. Jimmy Garoppolo, yeah, he's our guy right now, but never kind of giving that 100% confidence backing Jimmy Garoppolo. But now we get this quote by Kyle Shanahan on Jimmy Garoppolo saying, quote, Jimmy is one of the main reasons we're here. He's done an unbelievable job. People don't give him enough credit. So the head coach quarterback combo here, this is going to be big for Jimmy Garoppolo, getting the full support from Kyle Shanahan heading into one of the biggest games of Jimmy Garoppolo's career. We can't say biggest because he's already been in a Super Bowl and had a lead at halftime. Unfortunate. But one of the biggest games for Jimmy Garoppolo here, and now Kyle Shanahan is truly coming around on him. This is going to be big for Jimmy Garoppolo here heading into the Rams game this week. So head coach, quarterback connection, relationship, whatever you want to call it, must be so freaking solid. Andy Reid, Patrick Mahomes, Bill Belichick, Tom Brady, Sean Payton, Drew Brees, Mike Tomlin, Ben Roethlisberger, Zach Taylor, Joe Burrow now. And I know it's only 2 years, but this is like we're starting to kind of head into kind of like hyper drive in the NFL. We don't need 4-5 years of rebuilding. You can turn around a team in 2 years flat, folks, with Joe Burrow coming off a gruesome, devastating injury. We don't need this old school mentality of let's build the foundation, let's build the culture. Exactly, oh my goodness, exactly what this Bears team is doing. Let's establish a culture. Can we establish? No, you don't need to establish the wins. Can we all win and be good? Then the culture can come be second when everybody's happy and winning. That's when the culture truly gets implemented. No, there's going to be no culture, folks, if everybody's losing. There's going to be anger in the locker room. There's going to be distrust in the locker room. There's going to be finger pointing, and the foundation that you try to lay is never going to stick if you're losing games. Stop with this garbage boilerplate answer of we just want to build a foundation. Stop it. Once again, did anybody from the Broncos, the general manager, Nathaniel Hackett, say anything about building the foundation? No, because they know you don't need to. Genius, brilliant offensive minds right here. Stop with the foundation, folks. I don't care about a foundation. Can we win games? Man, you don't need it anymore, folks. That's like 1980s, 1990s, early 2000s thinking. Evolve with the times, please. Once again, why we want offensive-minded coaches? Because the game is to the offense now. Like it or not, that's what it is. All the rules are favoring the offense. Like it or not, we're getting big-time 25 points scored in the final 2 minutes of the divisional round. We're not even in the AFC Championship game yet. And these teams are going 25 points plus in the final 2 minutes of the fourth quarter. And now y'all want the overtime rules changed so every team, every offense can touch the ball. Y'all hate it when the defense gives up a touchdown. The defense, why are you hiring defensive-minded head coaches if you don't even care about the defense in overtime and it's only about the offense? Do you kind of see what we're trying to say, folks? Damn! I don't understand why it's not all clear to everybody. I'm not saying you have to believe everything that we're saying and buy into everything that we're saying 100%. Yes, there's always exceptions to the rule, but if you want to talk about foundation, that's the foundation. Offense is the foundation to everything. Everything, folks. Jeez. I just don't get it, folks. I just don't get sometimes what y'all are saying and thinking and what these general managers are thinking and saying. Don't get it. Somebody give me a head coaching job, please. Jeez, I'm throwing my hat in the ring. Dolphins, call me up. Saints, call me up. I can turn around your organization in 2 years flat. You'll get a ring. Jeez. Woo, man. All right, let's calm down a little bit. Man, I'm just saying, folks. That's all I'm saying, folks. Do y'all understand what I'm just trying to say? I'm just trying to say out here, folks. Woo! All righty. Where do we leave off? I don't even know anymore. What do we got up next here? We went over this. All righty, here we go. So the new head coaches for the Dolphins, potentially, we kind of like most of them. And then we get this right here quickly. This has nothing to do with the head coach, but still something good for the Dolphins here. Calvin Ridley, wide receiver for the Falcons, who's absolutely spectacular. Another reason probably why you want like an offensive-minded coach at the head coaching position to attract offensive talent, right? Because we get Calvin Ridley on Twitter liking a tweet that says, I really hope the Miami Dolphins get Calvin Ridley. He actually did he like it? Did he retweet and like it? Interesting. Either way, he liked it or retweeted it on Twitter. So, you get an offensive-minded guy that brings in Calvin Ridley. We have Calvin Ridley, Jalen Waddle with Tua. I definitely think that could work with the brilliant minds of Mike McDaniel, Brian DeBull. So, we'll see how that plays out as well. Next one up here, the New Orleans Saints plan to interview former head coach of the Dolphins, Brian Flores. Once again, defensive-minded head coach, not the greatest. We saw how that worked out with Tua. Brian Flores never truly trusts his quarterback, and if he's going to the Saints that currently has Jameis Winston, Trevor Siemian, Taysom Hill, I think Brian Flores is going to be bashing some quarterbacks. Get these garbage quarterbacks out of my face. What are you doing? We can't win a ring with these guys. What are you doing? So, I don't know if I like that, but we'll see what happens here with the Saints. Just as of recently, Sean Payton obviously retires and all that, so they're a little bit behind the curve on getting a head coach, but don't rush into anything. Once again, this could be a great fit for Doug Peterson as well. Saints kind of, all right, we didn't get kind of the jump on Brian Dable. We didn't get the jump on Mike McDaniel. We didn't get the jump on Kellen Moore. Doug Peterson still waiting in the wings here, so watch out for Doug Peterson to go to the Saints here, folks. And then the last one right here, we get Josh McDaniels, offensive coordinator for the Patriots. And I would say that Josh McDaniels is kind of like the OG Eric Bieniemy, the OG Brian Dable, where every single year, every fan base and the coaches are gushing and clamoring over these two great offensive minds, Eric Bieniemy of the Chiefs and Brian Dable of the Bills. Josh McDaniels, obviously, offensive coordinator for the Patriots, winning rings with Tom Brady, from Bill Belichick, all that. And we saw that Josh McDaniels was very, very close of taking the Colts job when Andrew Luck was the quarterback, pulled out last second. Andrew Luck decides to retire. Seemed like Josh McDaniels saw that happening or heard this could potentially be happening. And, so he stays with the Patriots. We've got no problem with that. Once again, Eric Bieniemy, I know he could be a great head coach, and I know he probably should be a head coach, but once again, not being the guy, building something. What they've got in Kansas City is absolutely brilliant, folks. 4 straight AFC Championship games. Why leave that? Eric Bieniemy is still getting credit. Obviously, not as much credit as, Patrick Mahomes and Andy Reid, but he's still getting a ton of credit there for the offense that has been carrying the Chiefs for the last 4 years, winning rings, getting the Super Bowls. It's like, why leave that? You've built something so special there in Kansas City. I don't know if you leave that in its prime. If Eric Bieniemy wants to wait like 5-6 years, kind of like what Josh McDaniels has been doing, now that there's no more Tom Brady, there's really nothing keeping you there in New England. So yeah, now Josh McDaniels should probably get a head coaching job somewhere. But Eric Bieniemy, man, stay where you've got it. You've got it made in Kansas City. You're so great. You're such genius, and you've got these great players. If you go to any other team, regardless of who it is, your offensive pieces are going to be nowhere near Patrick Mahomes and Tyreek Hill and Travis Kelce and all that. Plus, you got, the great free agent market. Everybody wants to go to Kansas City now because they're winning and so consistent. And the head coach quarterback relationship relationship is so freaking solid, and that's infectious. And Andy Reid just lets Patrick Mahomes just play football, play loosey-goosey. Receivers obviously want that, and being a player's coach and all that. So we love Eric Bieniemy, obviously, but do you need to be the guy? I really hope you don't need to be the guy. If you want to be the guy, you go ahead and be the guy. I'm not going to stop anybody from being the guy, but you're building something absolute. I mean, we'll be talking. This is a dynasty, folks. Absolutely, we'll be talking about this Chiefs team like we talk about the Patriots if they keep it going, which it seems no signs of slowing down or unless Eric Bieniemy truly does leave. So, all right, we'll see what happens there. But back to Josh McDaniels. Josh McDaniels on possibly being the Raiders head coach. Mike Giardi of ESPN, I believe, on Twitter says, I can tell you both sides have vetted each other, McDaniels and the Raiders. They have vetted each other thoroughly, and belief from league sources that I've spoken to is that Josh has rebuffed other job openings during this hiring period. So him to take this interview with the Raiders shows how serious he is. So it truly seems like Josh McDaniels is either going to the Raiders or sticking with the Patriots. So we'll see how this goes. Once again, Josh McDaniels inches away from being the head coach of the Colts with Andrew Luck, pulls out last second. We'll see how close he gets to this Raiders job and if he actually takes it or not. But seems like he's only going to the Raiders if he's going somewhere with a solid established quarterback, Derek Carr, Andrew Luck of the Colts. Andrew Luck coming off the injury, and once again, him retiring, 1 year later. Josh McDaniels probably, conversed with him and was like, hey, can you be real with me? And Andrew Luck was like, yeah, I'll be real with you, and that was not looking good, and then he went back to the Patriots. So we'll see how he feels about Derek Carr, if that's truly, good or not. Does Josh McDaniels want to handle the headache of the players playing in Vegas? We saw how that has played out this season. The city of sin truly made these players commit every single sin that there is. So we'll see how this works out, but Josh McDaniels to the Raiders is something to keep your eye on. Alrighty, so that is all the coach talk we have needed to talk about. So now let's get to it, folks. We've got games on this weekend, or just one day. Truly unfortunate. That's, the price we pay of getting deeper in the playoffs, folks. Less and less games, less and less days. Obviously, truly unfortunate. But if they're anything like last week's games, yes, sir, we'll take 2. I don't give a damn. So